Shudanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jayo Gurudeva Jayo Gurudeva Jayo Gurudeva Jayo Gurudeva Ram Sankirtan ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Finish the Mangalachan prayers and then we'll start. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabdutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Miti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Bhagavatam ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Let me just bring to this side. Okay, great. One second. Okay. Just bring the notes up. 1 second. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. So, the last time I got a chance to serve you all by speaking Hari Katha was the week before Janmashtami. And the topic which I chose that time to speak on was not the appearance of Krishna, rather what happened after Krishna appeared. Right? What happened after Krishna appeared. So I couldn't complete that time, or rather I finished in a very quick manner and kind of cut it half. So I'm thinking of continuing the same thing and finishing it this time. Right? So before we start going to the pastime of what happened after Krishna appeared, I was just thinking of speaking something about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. What happens when you read Srimad Bhagavatam or study Srimad Bhagavatam with attention. So today I was hearing a class by a very wonderful devotee on the Mahaprakash Leela. And there Sriman Mahaprabhu was in the Bhagavata, expanding or showing his opulence and giving benedictions, sitting on the throne of the Vaikuntanath. He is Vaikuntanath himself, sitting on the throne of Lord Vishnu. And asking everyone, please chant, and he was dancing himself amidst the chanting of the devotees. And the Mahaprakash Leela is called Sat Prahariya Leela. Sat means 7, Prahariya means 1 Prahar means 3 hours. Sat Prahari means 7 times 3, 21 hours. So this pastime occurred for 21 hours, at least earthly standard you could say. But it was beautifully been for a long time in a different dimension. So during these 21 hours, it was amazing, beautiful pastimes. The exchanges of love, exchanges between the Lord and the devotees was going on. And the place it happened is called as Shiva's Angan, the courtyard of Shiva's Thakur. So Shiva's Thakur is one of the Panchatatvas. He said, Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shiva's Adi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda. The Shiva's Thakur, one of the 5, who is the devotee, right? Who is none other than Narad Muni. So this pastime happened in Shiva's Angan. And it's mentioned, it's described that the Shiva's Angan is not different than the Rasa Sthali. Basically, when Krishna appeared, Krishna did Rasa Leela in Nidhivan, all different places in Vrindavan. So Shiva's Angan is not different than that place, basically. There's a Mahaprabhu, displayed his pastimes. So he was calling different devotees. You come first, Shiva's Pandit, you come first. Then Gangadas Pandit, his teacher. Then Shridhar Kolevecha, right? And then he was asking so many devotees come forward. I will give you whatever you want, ask me. The first person he called was Shiva's Thakur. And Mahaprabhu started telling him something. What did he tell? He mentioned that, oh Shivas, do you remember some time back, you went to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Devanand Pandit. Devanand Pandit is one of the characters, in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat mainly also. He was a professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam. You find so many people professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. They would Bhagavat Saptaha. 7 days finish Srimad Bhagavatam. As if Sukadev Goswami and the listeners are Prashit Maharaj. Finish Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So it can know, it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita itself, it says, the Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to Krishna. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarvashraye Prati Shloke Prati Akshare Nana Arthakaye. Krishna Tulya Bhagavat. Bhagavat and Krishna are not different. And Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarvashraye. Krishna is Vibhu, the shelter of everyone. Prati Shloke Prati Akshare Nana Arthakaye. Each and every syllable, word of Srimad Bhagavatam has so much meaning packed in it. It's innumerable meanings. Nana Arthakaye. Shri Prabhupada said that even one word of Srimad Bhagavatam we can talk for lifetimes. For whole life. Right? So much is packed. So Devanand Pandit was a professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Shiva's Thakur went to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And he was actually, when he was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, even though from the mouth of a professional reciter, he was so happy, so blissful hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Tears were pouring down his eyes. But seeing that, Devanand Pandit and his followers, they thought, who is this sentimental person? Throw him out. They picked him, threw him out of the house, Shiva's Pandit. That you are, ruining the mood by crying. Threw him out of the house. So Shiva's Pandit was so sad He said, okay, they threw me out of, from sharing Srimad Bhagavatam. Why did they do that? It's so sad. But they went home. He opened Srimad Bhagavatam and started reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And he was reading with full ecstasy, so happy. Happily he was reading Srimad Bhagavatam. He was crying reading Srimad Bhagavatam, seeing the mercy of the Lord. So the Mahaprabhu mentioned, Oh Srivas, when you were reading Srimad Bhagavatam in that particular way, been really very, very engrossed, very absorbed, I was sitting in Vaikuntha. I manifested myself in your heart when you were reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And when you were crying, shedding tears of love reading Srimad Bhagavatam, I manifested Bhakti Devi in your heart when you were reading in the particular mood, in that particular way. In the same lines, there's a verse spoken by Chatur Kumar, basically, Sada Sevya Srimad Bhagavati Katha Yastya Shravana Matrena Haris Chittam Samashayet. Sada Sevya, always serving Srimad Bhagavatam or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. At each and every step, Srimad Bhagavati Katha. What happens by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every time, every day? At least we should try to spend some time hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. What happens? Just Shravana Matrena, just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every time, constantly, Nityam, Haris Chittam Samashrayat. Ashrayat means takes shelter. Sama means Samyak Rupena, matlab completely takes shelter. Who? Hari. Where? In the Chitta, in the consciousness. The Lord sits in the heart of those who hear Srimad Bhagavatam in a submissive mood with trying to understand. Right? That is the holy glory of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So in this context, now we'll enter into the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 3, titled as the appearance of the birth of Lord Krishna. Okay? And we'll look at the verse which is mentioned here. The 3 verses we'll do, 47, 48, 49 together. So I spoke about this previously also, but I'll just I'll summarize quickly what the points I mentioned, and then we'll come back. Okay. So in this word, in this verse, first one is tatascha. So what has happened till now is that Lord appeared as Chaturbhuja form, showing displaying the 4-armed form, and seeing that Vasudev Maharaja has given prayers, offered prayers to the Lord. Mother Devaki has offered prayers to the Lord, and in return, Lord Himself spoke. Oh, why have appeared? You were Sutapa and Prishni before. You wanted to have desire. You did this. You did that. Then I came in 3 lifetimes. Everything. The Lord mentioned everything, and after that, everything has happened. The conversation has ended. And Sukadeva Goswami is saying, Tatascha, thereafter, whatever happened, after that, what happened now? Tatascha, is there? Shaurir Bhagavata Prachodita. Shauri. So when the Lord appeared, it can't appear for anything material. So if I ask you a question, was Mother Devaki spiritual or material? The Mother Devaki was actually spiritual. Lord can't appear anything material. How do we know that? This verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, just when Krishna appears, it says, Mumuchur manayo deva, Shunamsi mudanvitaha, manda mandam jaladhara, jagarju anusagaram, nishtitetam udbhute, jayamane janardane, devakyam deva rupinyam, Vishnu sarva guhashaya. Devakyam deva rupinyam. Mother Devaki was actually spiritual. So the translation goes like this. The Lord appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of night like the full moon. Right? And rising on the eastern horizon. Because Devaki was of the same category as Sri Krishna. That's the translation of the verse. Same category as the Mother Devaki was spiritual. Right? So when the Lord appeared, now the verse says Shauri. Shauri means what? It can be multiple meanings. Right? The first meaning of the word Shauri is that the son of Shurasen. Right? son of Shurasen. So when Lord appeared, he appeared in full, with full paraphernalia, which arms, clubs, disc, white pitambaradhari with helmet. No child comes out of the womb like that. Right? No child comes out of the womb. And it's not that when the Lord appeared, he took borrowed from some, hey, Kuvera, please give some chakra, can you please give that, I'll give you back. Just like a play. No, it exists with him eternally. Right? Now, when the Lord appeared, the son is called son of Shauri. Shauri means, first meaning is son of Shurasen. Vasudev Maharaja's father's name was Shurasen. Right? Shauri. Now, why did Sukadeva Goswami use the word Shauri? So each and every word which Sukadeva Goswami uses in Bhagavatam, there's a very, very specific reason behind that. Right? The first one, meaning of Shauri. Shurasen means, Shurasen means, in Hindi is Shurveer, very brave warrior. Right? The Shurasen was extremely brave, heroic, brave warrior. And the task which the Lord wanted to give to Vasudev Maharaj is not a very easy task. It's a very, very difficult task. One has to be extremely brave, heroic to perform that task. Right? So we say, right, normally the parents trait, some of the traits just come to the children. Right? So, your father was, you have, the blood in your body, right? The blood is that of Shurasen. Right? You are also very brave, very heroic. Right? So Krishna knew how capable Vasudev Maharaj is. Right? In that sense, Sukadeva Goswami addressed Vasudev Maharaj as, O Shauri. Okay, that's the first meaning. Now, the second meaning, not only was his father heroic, oh my dear Vasudev Maharaj, you are yourself here very heroic. How did Vasudev Maharaj exhibited his heroism or his bravery? How did he do that? By pacifying Kamsa when he was about to kill Madhevaki. Right? He was driving the chariot himself of his sister, very beloved sister. Right? But when the Akashvani came, within a moment, the gentleman became mental man. Totally flipped. Right? He wanted to kill Devaki right on the spot. But by his intellectual capacity, by being brave, he knew he can't take either side. If he take the side of Kamsa, Madhevaki said, what kind of husband are you? Right? And if you take the side of Devaki, instead of chopping one head off, there will be two heads chopped off. He was very brave, very, very diplomatic in trying to, balance both and saved both of them. Right? So he's extremely brave. So, being, showing his heroism, acknowledging his heroism, the Lord said, oh my dear father, I will give you, because you have undergone so much distress, I will give you a wonderful gift. But what is the gift? I will let you carry me across the river and to Nanda Maharaj's house. No one has ever got this chance. There's no other, there's never been a chance, never been a pastime before where the devotee is carrying the Lord across the river. Later, when Vrindavan, it happens a lot. Right? So here, we see in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is carrying Arjuna in one sense, by being the chariot driver. But here, the Lord is being carried by the devotee. Okay? Shishinitai Shachinande Bhagwan ki Jai, Lakshmi Nrsimde Bhagwan ki Jai, Pandit Tulsi Maharani ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay? The third reason Sukadeva Goswami calls him Shauri is because he is brave. Why? One more reason. Why? Because he himself is bound but trying to liberate me. Right? How can a bounded person, Baddha Jeev, so to say, right? Amazing. You don't have anything, but you still want to donate. Right? You don't have anything to eat, but you want to donate annadan. Right? So in that sense, Sukadeva Goswami called him Shauri, because you are yourself, they were shackled like animals. on the neck, on the hand, on the legs. They could only move in a semicircle from where they were. He wanted to take Krishna. He was doing, okay, he was thinking, how can I take Krishna now? Right? He had that mood. That's why Sukadeva Goswami called him Shauri. Now, the next line, he says, Bhagavat prachodita sutam samadaya. So, prachodita means spoke. Who spoke? Bhagavat. Bhagavan spoke. Okay? And what is the next line? Sutam samadaya sa sutika grahat. Sutam samadaya. Samadaya means very carefully took. Who? Sutam. Sutam means child. So you see, Bhagavan spoke and Vasudev Maharaj took a child. So within these two lines, the Lord transformed himself from the 400 Vishnu form to the baby form. See how amazing? Within these two lines, the transformation happened. The 400 Chaturbhuja Vishnu form transformed himself into the 200 baby form of Krishna. Sutam samadaya, very carefully. Very careful in the sense, so Vasudev Maharaj had a small basket, soft cloth. Samadaya means carefully picked him and carefully placed him. That is samadaya. From where? Sutika grahat, when maternity ward, so to say, right? There's a curtain, right? From Sutika grahat. Then, Yada bhair gantum tesha tarhaja ya yoga maya jani nanda jayaya. So now, the Lord said, oh my dear father, please take me across the river to the house of Nanda Maharaj. Right? So, the point is, when Krishna is put in the box, Srimad Bhagavatam says, when Krishna is put in the box, when Vasudev Maharaj took him, Krishna, put him in the box, that's when a baby girl was born in Gokul. Who is that? Yogamaya, Jani Nanda Jayaya. When Vasudev Maharaj picked Krishna, that's when a girl was born, baby girl was born in Gokul, Mahavan. And who was a person? Who was a girl? Yogamaya was the girl who was appeared. Okay? So now, there are three things. Right? The three things which happens when Vasudev Maharaj took Krishna. Okay? Three things happened. Please, okay? I will ask again. The first thing is, the shackles on the feet of Vasudev Maharaj opened. The shackles on the feet of Vasudev Maharaj opened. Second, all the doorkeepers went out to sleep. Not just the doorkeepers, the entire inhabitants of Mathura went to sleep. What of Mathura? All the inhabitants of Gokul Mahavan went to sleep. Okay? The second thing. First thing, the shackles on the feet of Vasudev Maharaj broke loose. The second, all the doorkeepers went off to sleep. Right? And the third, the doors opened. Okay? The doors opened. So, the first, so the Acharyas explain what do these three things mean. What does opening the iron shackles mean? It means anyone who carries Krishna in their heart. Okay? So, Acharya explained what is so big deal that shackles came off. It's not a big deal. Why? So, the Acharyas mentioned, when anyone who carries Krishna in their heart, what happens? The iron shackles of the repeated birth and death, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, that iron shackles of repeated birth and death, they get broken. So what are these iron shackles? Is everyone understanding? The iron shackles, which is so tight, the repeated birth and death, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam, so tight, the iron shackles, just by taking Krishna's name, just by carrying Krishna in their heart, the iron shackles of repeated birth and death, they get destroyed or they open. So what are these iron shackles? In Hindi we say, kis khet ki muli hai. So it's insignificant. It's very natural, then the iron shackles get open. It's not a big thing. Okay. The second thing, the doorkeepers went to sleep. So the doorkeepers are compared to something in this pastime. What is it? So when the name of Krishna is been taken in the box of our tongue, then what happens? The doorkeepers of Kamsa, who are like the anarthas in the heart, they go to sleep. Which is more powerful, the doorkeepers of Kamsa or the anarthas in their heart? Who do you think is more powerful? The anarthas in our heart are extremely powerful. But even such powerful personalities like the anarthas, when they go to sleep just by taking Krishna's name in the tongue, then what are these doorkeepers? Of course, they will go to sleep. It's not a big thing. Now, in this regard, a very nice, lesson has been given. Another lesson has been given. So, Krishna Katha is like Krishna coming. Is Krishna and Krishna Katha not different? No, they're not different. Right? The same. And who is the speaker? It's like Vasudev Maharaja carrying Krishna. Now, when Krishna is being carried, and if we sleep, whose side we are on? Kamsa's side. Because when Krishna is being carried, the Kamsa's doorkeepers, they go to sleep. So if we are hearing Krishna Katha, and if we go to sleep, we have decided to be on the side of Kamsa Maharaj. On the other hand, if you are very eager to receive Krishna, okay. Here very with eagerness, you want to hear Krishna Katha, then we are on the other side. Okay, so any Hari Katha, not Srimad Bhagavatam, any Hari Katha, it can be Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, anything. Okay, so the two things mentioned, right? Iron shackles are open, doorkeepers have to sleep. The third is the doors are opened. What does this mean? Acharya has mentioned, one who chants the name of Krishna, for them the doors of Golok Vrindavan open. Then what are these doorkeepers? What are these iron doors? Not a big thing. Does it make sense? Right? So the doors of Golok Vrindavan get open, open for those devotees who chant Krishna's name always. Then what to speak of? The doors of the prison house of Kamsa. Right? So that these three main things. Okay? So now, the next verse, we go to the next verse. It says here, the word is Krishna Vahe. If you see here, Krishna Vahe. Vahe means Vahan, vehicle. Krishna's vehicle is Vasudev Maharaj. Right? So, a very nice, beautiful explanation is given of this particular word. Krishna Vahe. It means what happens when we carry Krishna with all our senses. Vasudev Maharaj is carrying Krishna. So, what happens when we carry Krishna with all our senses? A very beautiful verse which Prabhupada has quoted many, I think 3 or 4 times in Bhagavad Gita itself. A verse from the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj. Savi mana Krishna padar vindayor vacham si vaikuntha gunanu varnane karau harir mandira marjani deshu shutim chakara chutasat kathodaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drishau tad britta gata sprashe anga sangamam. It goes the 4 verses. What is being talked about? The service of Ambarish Maharaj has been spoken about. How is he serving? Save mana Krishna padar vindayor. Ambarish Maharaj was always engaged his mind in meditating upon Krishna. He engaged his mind in thinking about, meditating on Krishna. Then what happened? Save mana Krishna padar vindayor vacham si vaikuntha gunanu. Vacham si means he engaged his tongue in what? Gunanu varnane. Glorifying whom? Vaikuntha, the Lord. He used his tongue in glorifying the Lord. Karau harer mandira marjanadishu. Karau means what? Hands. What does he do with his hand? What did he do with his hands? Mandira marjan. Marjan means cleaning. What? Mandir. He uses his hand to clean the temple of the Lord. Shutim chakara chutasat kathodaye. And then what? Shutim. His ears in what? Hearing about the glories of the Lord. Okay? Then Mukund Lingalaya Darshane Drishau. Mukund Lingalaya Darshana means using his eyes to do what? Seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. Then Grahanam Chatat Pada Saroja Saurubhe. Then going to places. Grahanam Chatat Pada. So Yeah, he engages his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples, Krishna's places. He engages sense of touch. In what? Touching the bodies of lost devotees, touching them, touching their feet, touching hand, right? Using the senses of touch to touch the devotees of the Lord. Then Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite, using tongue to taste, right? Sorry, the smell, tulsi flowers, tulsi leaves, engaging his nose in smelling the tulsi leaves of the Lord, offered to the Lord. Then what? Padau Hare Kshetra Padalu Sarpane, using the legs, what? Do parikrama of Kshetra, of the holy places of pilgrimage. Mathura, Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, Dwarka, wherever it is. Srirangam, right? Kshiro Rishikesha Padhabhivandane. Kshiro means the head. In what? Padhabhivandane, using the head to bow down to the Lord. Kamam cha dase natu kama kamya. Right? And desiring what? Desiring to serve the Lord 24 hours a day. In this way, Ambrish Maharaj used all his senses to serve the Lord, serve Krishna. Right? So similarly, when we see the beautiful forms of Shri Nitai Sachidananda in our temple, Mahaprabhu says, Pratima nahi tumi sakshat bhajendra nandan. They are not a pratima. These are not statues. Sakshat Brajendra Nandan. Sachisuta Hoilo Sai. Right? Krishna is Sachisuta basically. Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna. There is no Pratima, that is Sakshat Brajendra Nandan, Sakshat Krishna. Right? We have to see Krishna is himself present before us. When we see the beautiful forms of Krishna through our eyes, right? Smell the flowers offered to Krishna and make our ears like cups to hear about Krishna. Use our tongue to speak about Krishna. Use our legs to parikrama of the temple, of the kshetra, so many things, right? In that way, when we serve Krishna, then what happens? All the three things which I mentioned before, shackles on the feet, doorkeepers going to sleep, and the doors opening, they all take effect. When we engage all the senses in service of Krishna, then the repeated iron shackles of repeated birth and death, they come loose. The anarthas in our heart, they go to sleep. And the door to Goloka Vrindavan opens. That is the significance of those three things. Now, so what we have to understand, in one sentence, we should, the Krishna Katha is enrichment or entertainment for the ear, enrichment for the mind, and enlightenment for the heart. We should not just do one thing. No, very nice story. That is just entertainment for the ears, going here and coming out from here. But we have to take lessons from those pastimes. That is like enrichment for the mind. Oh, okay, these are lessons. These are the lessons from this pastime. From this part of the pastime, I can learn this and that. But then we apply those lessons in our life. Then we get enlightenment in the heart. The three steps. Not just listen, but listen and take the lessons. And not just take the lessons and keep it aside as it is, but apply in our life so that we can get realizations, enlightenment in the heart. Okay? Now, Vasudev Maharaj has walked out and he has seen Mother Yamuna, River Yamuna in front of him. Now thinking, ab kya kare? Right? So before that, when Krishna walks out, Shukdev Goswami actually uses the analogy of sun coming, of rising of the sun. If you see the translation, let me see here. When the sun rises, darkness automatically disappears. Now, why is the analogy of sun being given? As I mentioned, when Shukdev Goswami uses the analogy, it's for a very, very specific purpose. How does the analogy of sun, fit into this Krishna coming out of the room or prison? Three things are common with the sun and Krishna's coming out. When the sun rises, does it come with a band baja barat? No, very quiet. Sun rises, there's no sound, no drum roll, nothing. When Krishna came out, Everything was silent, no noise. Quiet. No, not like, the gate open, no. Frictionless. Everything frictionless, no sound, nothing. There's one thing common with the rising of the sun. The second, when sun rises, just when the sun is rising, does all darkness dissipate at once? No. As sun slowly rises, darkness dissipates accordingly. Similarly, when Krishna was coming out of the door of the prison, the 16 such prison gates. Krishna would come, first would open, then second, then the third. Not that, not like all at once. When he passed one, second will open. Past second, third will open. Then fourth, then fifth, then sixth. Sequentially. Just like when sun rises, darkness dissipates proportionately. That is second relation with the rising of the sun and Krishna appearing. And third reason, for a very wonderful devotee, Hari Suri, he says, what is so astonishing about the rising of sun example being given? Because Krishna is none other than himself who? Surya Narayan. So what is so astonishing about it? Surya Narayan himself is walking, of course, the rising of the sun. Right? Very wonderful realization. Right? So now, when he comes to, when Vasudev Maharaj came out of the 16 gates, he was not very tensed. Normally, right? Okay, now he's done. Now what? He was not tensed, he was blissful. Why? Because he was carrying who? Bliss personified. So, Chaitanya Charitamrita is a beautiful verse being quoted by Kaviraj Goswami from Mahabharata. Krishi bhu vachika shabdho nashta nivritti vachikaha. Krish means what? Bliss personified. No, Krish means actually existence personified. And Na means bliss personified. So bliss personified is on the head of Vasudev Maharaj. So how can Vasudev Maharaj be in a very miserable state? Doesn't make any sense. Right? One of the characteristics of devotional service is Sandrananda Visheshatma. Sandrananda means extremely dense, condensed happiness. That is Krishna. If you take happiness, condense it like a thick cloud. Make extreme, condense it. That is Krishna. How can someone who is carrying Krishna be miserable? That is why in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, Su sukham kartum abhyayam. This bhakti is a very joyful process. Prabhupada says, if you are performing bhakti and if you are becoming miserable, then not performing bhakti rightly. Bhakti is not being performed rightly. Okay? Now reverse. You want to cross the river now, right? There's another before crossing the before crossing the river, the rainfall, extreme, very nice rainfall was happening that time. So now Acharya explained what does rainfall mean. The 5 external reasons for the rainfall and 5 internal reasons for the rainfall. Okay, what are the 5 external reasons for the rainfall? Is to what happens during rainfall, rain shower? People are inside, they go out. No, people are outside, they go in. Right? Second, those are inside, stay inside. Okay? And even if you are out, it's so nice raining, you can't see who is there. You can't make out who the other person is. Fourth, people becomes so nice, becomes a bit cooler, People just take rajai and just sleep night time. Fourth reason. Fifth reason. Now if nobody, if Vasudev Maharaj was walking outside, the sound may come. But it's showering so nice and so densely raining cats and dogs, you could say. It was hitting the roof, making sound which deafened or dampened the sound of Vasudev Maharaj walking. So no one knew Vasudev Maharaj was coming out of the prison house. 5 external reasons for the rainfall. Now 5 internal reasons for the rainfall. Very beautiful. Okay? First reason, very quick I'll say. First reason, the clouds are crying. Why the clouds are crying? Because they are thinking finally, so Krishna who appears once in a day of Brahma, this once in 8.64 billion years. He has come and took what form? What is the color of Krishna's form? Meghashama Varna. Same color as ours. They're so happy for Krishna. So whenever in the future Krishna's form is described, the word is Meghashama by default. Oh, by Krishna appearing in this particular form, he has made our family proud. In ecstasy, in happiness, they are crying and the rainfall are pouring. These are very rasic, poetic expressions of realizations of devotees. Right? Second, the cloud happened to hear the verse Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachiti. The cloud say, we have no Patram, na Pushpam, na Phalam. We have only what? Toyam. Take everything. Take everything. Yeah? Like offering you. Right? Then, third, the cloud started thinking, oh, Krishna was drinking the milk of Mother Devaki. That's when Vasudev Maharaja took him. Then he will go to now Gokul, where Mother Yashoda will bathe him with tears of love. In that time, it's my turn. First ever Abhishek of Lord Krishna. Cloud said, Hum karenge. We will do it. And started pouring rain to Abhishek of Krishna. The third reason. The fourth reason, this is a very extremely beautiful realization. Okay, please. No, our acharyas were very mind-blowing. They're taking the concept of water cycle. How? How does the rainwater come? From the ocean, evaporation, clouds. What is the relation between Krishna and ocean? What is the relation between Krishna and the ocean or sea? Yeah? No. So what is the relation? This is more relation. It's relation between father-in-law and son-in-law. Where did Mother Lakshmi come from? From churning of the ocean. Right? So, father-in-law, Varun Dev, is saying, oh, Krishna has appeared. I am on the ocean, sitting far away. So he's saying, oh, clouds, I can't give him directly. So I'm giving you this gift. You please deliver it on our behalf. So, the ocean water evaporated, the clouds, and the clouds are giving or passing over the gift of his father-in-law, Krishna's father-in-law, right? The Varun Dev, to Krishna. We can go in detail, but so beautiful realization, right? Fifth is, in Sanskrit, water is called as Jivana. Right? So the cloud is thinking, we have little Jivan, but we want to offer this Jivan to the supreme Jivan, supreme life. When we offer, we do Tarpan, Mother Ganga, what do? We take Ganga's water and offer to Ganga herself. तुमने कौन सा बड़ा काम किया? What big thing did you do? You're taking water, her water, and offering to her yourself. So the cloud is thinking, the Jivan, what we have, we offer fully unto you with supreme life. There's another reason, clouds showered water, rainfall. Okay? Now comes who? The elder brother, in sense, in a different form, Anantashesh. The Anantashesh comes, to protect Krishna. Now he doesn't come in the front because by seeing him, the Vasudev Maharaj may be scared and drop Krishna in the water. So he comes from the back, and covering Krishna and Vasudev Maharaj from being wet. Right? So, but that there's a more deeper philosophical meaning. Right? Very beautiful. Okay, please listen to this very beautiful lesson from this. Anantashesh is thinking about himself. What is he thinking? No doubt, I'm Krishna's servant. Right? He's serving Krishna. Anantashesh is serving Krishna in what? In the bed form, or his paraphernalia, whatever you can think of. His chappals, his asan, his umbrella, his chamar, anything is expansion of Lord Balram, Anantashesh. Okay? So he's thinking, no doubt, I am the servant of Krishna. But at this point, I would really love to follow the footsteps of who is holding Krishna. His ego is not coming in. Of course, Anantashesh doesn't have any ego. It's just for or learning purposes. The lessons taking from it. So Anantashesh is thinking, okay, I am the foremost servant of Krishna. I am serving Krishna in so many different ways. But right now, Krishna wants him to be carried by Vasudev Maharaj. That's Krishna wants. So I would gladly follow what Krishna wants. And not into, hey, Vasudev Maharaj, get out. I am his main servant. You give me, I will carry him. No. Following the footsteps who is also following, or Krishna is being carried. Krishna wants that. Not imposing ourselves. That is very nice, beautiful lesson. So the spirit of the servant was all displayed in the first pastime itself. Das Dasanudas. The spirit of being servant of the servant is displayed by who? Anantashesh himself. In the various chart of the Krishna's pastimes. Right? So you could argued, oh, Vasudev Maharaj carries Krishna only once, but look at me, sleeps on me, everything. Right? No problem, I am his eternal bed. But at the moment, Krishna is using Vasudev Maharaj's arms to be carried. So I will gladly follow the footsteps of such a devotee who is serving Krishna. Right? So this talks about the concept of cooperation. So much we're talking about cooperation. Prabhupada wanted, if you love me, my love for me should be shown by your cooperation. Prabhupada said that. The cooperation is extremely important. And Ananta Shesh himself showed this teaching in the first pastime. Right? Sometimes we have multi-layer cooperation. Cooperation with seniors, cooperation with juniors, cooperation with our equals. So many things happen. So Ananta Shesh is trying to cooperate by being the servant of Vasudev Maharaj, who is a servant of Krishna. And yet at the same time, he's trying to cover Krishna from getting wet. But now, by covering Krishna from getting wet, don't you think it's a disservice to the clouds? Who wants to serve? Now there's no cooperation. In the sense that, what is someone doing service? I come and stop. Is there cooperation? No, that's not cooperation. Right? So, in this regard, it's mentioned that Antayesh knows, okay, that the person wants to serve Krishna. So what does he do? He pulls himself back, lets few drops of water fall on Krishna, and as soon as he knows that Krishna is going to catch cold, come back, then. Like, I let you serve, okay, now then. Now no more. Right? So Anantayesh knows, cooperation is there, okay, you'd serve, okay, so, but okay. Now we should not cross the boundary. Right? Now serving is done, now we'll take over. Now he served Krishna. Right? So, in this way, so many learnings can be taken from this pastime itself. Shishinitai, Shichanande Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj Narasimha Bhagwan ki jai, Pundarita Bharani ki jai, Shabapad ki jai. Right? So, we'll just take 2 more minutes and finish. Now, Krishna has been taken, cross the river. Vasudev Maharaj has taken Krishna across the river. Now kept. Vasudev Maharaj did not keep Krishna right besides Mother Yashoda. Why? Krishna is a baby. He was drinking milk when he was still there, Mother Devaki. If he keeps baby right beside Mother Yashoda, what will the baby do? Crawl to drink milk. That will wake up who? Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda sees Vasudev Maharaj. Hey? What are you doing here? Bhanda put jayega. Everything will go away. So he keeps safely a bit away and says, oh Krishna, when Mother Yashoda gets up, she'll feed you. You please be here till that time. And takes Yogamaya with him and then runs. Why runs? Because runs fast. Why? If baby starts crying, again, problem. Right? He wants to do everything quick. He is worried. What if the doorkeepers, they wake up again? Are they awake? So he's very, he wants to get it done without no one knowing. So he takes Yogamaya and then runs away from that particular place. Now there's a question asked by one of our devotees, Acharya. Now he is carrying Maya in his hands. So how are the shackles still open? He's carrying Maya in his hands. How are the shackles? Remember, shackles means a bit of birth and death. How is it still open? How is it still free? So what does Acharya mention here? The beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita 9.30. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag saudreva samantavya sambhyak vivasato hi saha. Accident fall down happens. If there's an accidental fall down, Krishna says, don't worry, you're still considered sadhu if you back devotional service. So if you're carrying Mara for a very short time, accidentally, they're still fine, no problem. Right? So, taking that heed, this another someone taking that heed, he enters Maya into prison house. He carries Yoga Maya into the prison house. And all the doors get locked, the prison house, and he shackles himself back. He put the shackles back himself. Shackles are locked, everything is locked. Now, what is the other learning from this? One who drops Krishna somewhere far away and holds Maya for a long time, what happens? He is actually binding himself in the prison house back again. He was carrying Krishna, right? But he kept Krishna somewhere far and then took Maya in his hands and walking far away from Krishna for a long time. So such a person who got Krishna but then left Krishna somewhere and started walking, getting back into the old habits, then think, what this useless person is talking about, and the mistake we can find, it's all my fault. So kindly correct me and please instruct me. So now we'll hear it in the Aarti of Sakshat Bhajendraనందన్ Mahaprabhu. Please engage in chanting and dancing. Okay, thank you so much. Gandha Shri Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण श्री अद्वैत गदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण श्री अद्वैत गदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Gaur Hare Hare Bol Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Bol Gaur Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Gauranga 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 Nityananda 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 Gauranga 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 Jaya Nitai Sacinandana Nitai Sacinandana Nitai Sacinandana Gaura Hari Nitai Sacinandana Jaya Nitai Sacinandana Nitai Sacinandana Nitai Sacinandana Gaura Hari Nitai Sacinandana Jaya Gaura 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 Hari Nitai Sacinandana Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Jaya Gaura 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 Hari Nitai Sacinandana Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Jayo Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jayo Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai 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 Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai 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 Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol जम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का अष्टोत्तर शतक श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद जी महाराज की नित्य पुरुष जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का अष्टोत्तर शतक श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत श्री ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद जी महाराज की जय गुरु परंपरा की जय षड गोस्वामी प्रभुगण की जय प्रेम से को जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय श्री 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 कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय श्री श्री निताय सच्चिनंदन भगवान की जय शुभ मध्याह्न आरती की जय मध्याह्न आरती जगदानकारी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय इस्कॉन पोर्टलैंड की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलभद्र सुभद्रा महारानी की जय चक्र सुदर्शन जीव की जय श्री श्री राधा माधव वृंद की जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मायपुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय नीलाचल क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जी महाराज के जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ऑल गौरिष्ठ सुन लो हरे कृष्ण ऑल गौरिष्ठ सुन लो हरे कृष्ण ऑल गौरिष्ठ गुरु एंड गौर प्रभुपाद की जय।
Namaste Narashinghaya. Namaste Narashinghaya. Praladala dadahine. Praladala dadahine. Hiranyakashipurvakshah. Hiranyakashipurvakshah. Shrilatanka nakalaye. Shrilatanka nakalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Pahir Narsimha, Hidrahe Narsimha. Pahir Narsimha, Hidrahe Narsimha. Narsimhamadim Charanam Prapate. Narsimhamadim Charanam Prapate. Kavakara Kamalavare Nakamadbhuta Shringam. Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanubringam. Keshavadretam Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Kavakara Kamala. Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam. Keshavadreta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Keshavadreta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisa Hare. जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवद्रेता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश जय जगदीश जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Srila Gurudev. Jaya Jaya.
विघ्नविनाशक श्री लक्ष्मण सिंह भगवान की जय भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि हरि
Thank you, Subbu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Shri Nitai Satchidananda Dev ki